right, everyone, welcome back to BBB Sharing. This is Ignite, sparked by BBB. I'm Evie, and we're here in the Ignite podcast studio. And today we have one of our board of directors, Mr. Vincent Tucker, and Kandi is also here from his office. Thank you for coming.
Well, and Vincent is the chairman of the board.
That's right.
So he's not Frank Sinatra, but he's close.
He is, yeah. And of course, that's Barry Moore. He's always with me. And today we're going to talk about, you all have a 35-year anniversary, right?
Yes, absolutely.
That's amazing. I think you guys had a TV commercial come out.
Just started Monday, I believe.
Just started, one day this week, yes.
I heard everyone in the office talking about it yesterday, and I was like, wow, I did not know that. 35 years is amazing.
Thank you. Yes, a lot of learned lessons in 35 years.
In an industry that's pretty competitive, So we'll let Vincent and Kenny introduce themselves. Tell us who you are and what is important that people should know and why they should call you.
I'm Vincent Tucker, president of Quality Moving Services. We're celebrating 35 years of being number one moving company in Virginia, for those who do not know.
Yeah.
And we handle or we service residential and commercial clients. Small, medium, large businesses. And we have a great team. We're very professional. We are members of the Better Business Bureau, and we are an accredited business. And we would like everyone to know that part of your platform or notoriety should be, BBB should be part of that. Because we start with honesty and trust, and every customer want to do business with someone they can trust. So that's what we stand for.
And then accreditation, the one thing you do different than a lot of, and at the board meetings, I harp on it. The next board meeting, I'm really going to harp on it. You use the decal. You display that decal, and we're going to have a conversation with some consumers and the board. Why is that seal so important to share? And when you break it down, Vincent, there's 24 million companies in the country. We're international, we're also in Canada. But if there's 24 million and less than 400,000 are accredited, you're the cream of the crop. And that's for recruiting and for customers and everything in quotes. And there's been a lot of scams in the moving industry.
Yes.
And we'll talk about that shortly, but we'll let Kandi introduce herself real quickly.
Yes, so I'm Kandi Edmonds. I'm the operations manager at Quality Moving Services. As Vince said, 35 years. We specialize in residential and commercial moving. We pride ourselves on being the professional moving company in the state of Virginia. We're going to get into it, but you may hear some horror stories. You hear things about what happens at moving companies. We really pride ourselves on providing an excellent customer service experience. And that is what sets us apart. And I believe what has led to the longevity under Vince's lead. He takes these things very seriously. He wants to make sure that what we're putting out to the customer is the best product possible. So that means the best team, the best internal work, the best resolution of damages, which can be seen from our BBB reviews and resolution of any issues that we may have had. We really take those things seriously, and that is what sets us apart from all of these other companies that have popped up in the last few years, especially since COVID.
And that are not accredited, chances are not licensed and not insured. And a lot of them are brokers. And I will tell you, Evie doesn't know this, but Kandi has, for the last, I've been here 2 years, and I will give you a great shout out because you actually try to learn more and more. You don't think you know it all, and you come to events and you keep learning, and that helps the employees, helps the customers. So when you get down to it, and we'll let, and that's my phone. I know, it's so rude. How can I do that, right? What's wrong with me? But, I'm sorry,
When I
folks.
was coughing, your phones were.
Right. Well, I was able to mute you down.
Oh,
I didn't
okay.
mute this down. I wasn't ready for it. But good thing we should say, are all phones turned off during a podcast?
Yes, please.
Yeah. I didn't think of that. So anyway, Evie's gonna ask some of the questions, but I wanna lead off because I wanna set the tone. I know moving pretty well. And I read a lot of the horror stories, and I've had some friends contact me with horror stories.
Mhm.
Kandi, what's the importance of getting a written estimate and a real proposal versus a guesstimate?
Well, it is very important. An estimate done correctly should really encompass everything that your move is going to involve. So it's every piece of furniture in the house, but not only it's the furniture in the house, it's the location of the house, it's the driveway, it's the stairs, it's the access. It's at both locations because you're moving into this new place, right? So you maybe don't realize that the driveway is super steep, or you do. When you met with your realtor, the realtor said this house is kind of hard to sell because this driveway is so steep and other people, have passed over it. And you said, oh, I don't care. I'm good with this steep driveway. But then you don't think to mention it to the movers, and then it becomes an issue. We can't back the truck into the yard. We have to park on the street and walk everything up this steep incline. All of those things really do make a difference. And when we talk about the customer experience, it makes a difference for the customer experience because everything can be going smoothly. And then we hit this snag. And now the customer's concerned about their price going through the roof. Their customer's concerned about the state of the movers because now the movers are encountering this driveway that they didn't know they were going to have to encounter. So getting an accurate estimate up front prepares us for those things. I cannot explain the difference mentally to a moving crew if I say, this is going to be a long carry, this customer has a steep driveway, they have very heavy items, they have antiques, the dog is going to be barking all day. If I tell them that in the morning, they're prepared for that. They know what's going to happen, they're ready for that steep driveway, they're ready for the dog. It makes an awesome day. But if they don't know and they get to that driveway, my phone's gonna ring. Their, right, they can't see you doing that, but their energy level,
Yeah, okay.
gotcha, I forgot about that.
Keep forgetting, that's why I reminded everybody.
Their energy level is gonna drain. And it really does change what that move then feels like. So having an accurate estimate up front is key. Also, money wise, you don't want surprises like that. No customer, I don't want that type of surprise as a consumer. Customers don't want that type of surprise. Oh, well, it'll be about this, and we're pretty sure, and things that you may get from other places. People also sometimes don't want that. Oh, I don't have time for that. Just tell me what it's going to be. Well, hold on. Let's talk this through. And those are always the ones they're going to be surprises at the end, and then we're going to have a hard conversation. So any company that you call should provide you with a written estimate. If there's a not to exceed, if there's a range, those are also good because again, it's just an estimate. So somebody says, oh, it'll be $800. No, maybe not. There needs to be a range, there needs to be a not to exceed, and everything needs to be covered. And you need to have some signatures and have it in writing.
That's great advice. And I would assume on a big hill, and I've lived on a couple of big hills over my years in Pittsburgh and in New Jersey, and I love hills, but it probably doubles my cost. And I understand that because I go with my eyes open because I've been educated. And Evie is so new to the BBB brand, and she's been in business before. And this is what I love to see and hear and share with a community of consumers. Everything that Kandi just said, everything that Vince brings for 35 years, integrity, honesty, respecting their employees. You heard her say it without that word, but she also respects the clientele. And that is huge. I cannot tell you, Evie, at a young age, but believe it or not, a minority of companies are like that. Majority don't care. They just about the money.
I actually was a little shell shocked when I went to VCU. My dad has owned businesses since I was born, especially a well-known restaurant in Harrisonburg, Virginia for over 30 years. Lots of locals know about it. People have, going to JMU, come and gone, working for my father, loved it. That's the type of environment I was used to working in. Started in there at 13 years old. There was no getting out of it. Absolutely not. But then I went to college and I would hear horror stories from my peers about the places that they work at, especially restaurants. And I was like, that's not how things are supposed to be. Like, that's not a leader or a manager, how they should be acting towards their employees. I'd never witnessed or heard anything like that before. So you're right, it is a minority. But there is one thing, you did say horror stories, Kandi, and I did want to mention, what are some scams that are really relevant that you see when it comes to moving companies?
Yeah, so we just had an instance where the Better Business Bureau sent us a claim is not the right word. What word am I looking for? A complaint. A customer was moved out of state, didn't receive their items, was quoted a different cost, was having a hard time getting a complaint resolution, weren't getting any answers back, and that complaint came to us by mistake. Was not our company. We had no affiliation, and I immediately responded, said no affiliation, and the Better Business Bureau took care of that and removed that complaint from our account. Thank you. But it did highlight some of those things that happen, especially it happens more with the out-of-state moves because these carriers broker jobs.
Right.
So one person might pick it up here, they drive it here, they put it in storage for a little bit, it comes over here, and then some local company then brings it to you. And this local company that brings it to you asks you for more money, they damage it, they steal. And since there was a round robin system of it getting to you, you then go after that local company that brought it to you in the end. So it is usually, I gesture those types of things that you hear about. People being asked for more money to release their items. A few years ago, there were a few news articles and things because it was much more prevalent then. But I haven't heard too much of that lately. Now it is usually just those long distance things and the issues that happen with those.
We're seeing still a lot, and I shared with Vincent, I had a friend in Chesterfield County moved to Florida. If you remember that, it started out as a $7,000 job, finished up at $21,000. They would not release her stuff. And I remember sharing it with Vincent, just so you guys are aware, but we do see still a lot of things. So we're at about 13 minutes. Podcast is about probably 16 minutes for us right now. So I'd like to finish up with Vincent. I really want to know, how did you make it 35 years? What was your vision? So a lot of questions. What was your vision? How did you do it? What's key? There's ups and downs, but what about the employees also? Because I am sure there's alumni on the street that says, let's talk about Barry Moore. Barry Moore in the car business, he grinds you out, yells, screams, wants you to do this, unrealistic, and he's just brutal. But then there's a majority of people say, because of that coaching and desire to be the best, he's instilled in me, even though I don't know Barry Moore anymore, I still am the best at what I do in auto sales. So as a leader, that's what most employees don't understand. It hurts. It hurts being disliked, but sometimes I earned that title, and other times I didn't. And it was always for the right reasons. So talk about employees, and we're gonna let you talk for 2, 3, 4 minutes, whatever you feel comfortable with.
So in 35 years, we have hired, I don't know, thousands of employees. And starting 35 years ago, it was a lot in the industry I did not know. So it was trial and error. But one thing I did know within my heart, I wanted to do the right thing for the customer. So if I'm going to grind every day, you need to grind every day. I made sure paid employees on time. I didn't hold back their money to say, hey, once we get paid, you'll get paid. It's none of that. Started professional and we're still professional. And just appreciating your employees and giving them a attaboy from time to time, that they did do a good job. But you also have to put your foot down when they're not. And because the name of the company is quality, I want to make sure that our standards maintain that quality level at all times. So sometimes we had to take a hit. There's damaged furniture, we had to make it right. We could just sweep it up under the rug. And sometimes we will hold the employees accountable for those damages. Was it an accident or were you just not paying attention? So having standards and maintaining those standards is what made our success.
I think with BBB, if we added expectations to the integrity, honesty, respect, all those things that makes up a marketplace that starts with trust, I think that would be another word to use. And, we have a big company in Chesterfield County. You're located in Petersburg and in Chesterfield.
We have a warehouse in Petersburg. We're based out of Chesterfield.
And I visited the one place in Petersburg.
Yes.
And I've seen your storage containers and everything, very nice. And it's where you've got store furniture, logical place to do it, and you guys move it. But with so much growth going on, and this is a big messaging for the Better Business Bureau to our community. It falls on deaf ears to some, but a lot of people are getting it. Economic development in our area, Tri-County area, or 5 counties, a city, everybody wants to win. They want to bring a company from the other side of the country to here. They want to bring people from Europe to here. And we have in Chesterfield County one major manufacturer, starts with an L, ends with an O, and it's LEGO. But we're not going to talk about that because they don't like us to talk about it. But it is critical. They have a different way of doing things in Europe. They love the community. They love the environment. They are a lot nicer than I would be as a business owner, but that's me, right? And they're more successful than me. So they're going to come here. We've sold them on our area, and they're going to have 1,761 employees. They just planted trees yesterday in Robius Park, or one of the parks, Rodwell Park. I saw the social media. And we have got to be concerned that all the businesses and those who are watching the video are going like this. It's not about making money on 1,761 new employees. It's about treating them right and making them love Chesterfield County so they don't move to an outlying county or a farm. Economic development, they're going to be in our schools, they're going to be on the roads. Let's make the taxpayer money. But they need to meet people. The first thing they're gonna do is buy a house, get a mortgage, and then they gotta move.
Yes.
And I hope that company from the top down recommends those 1,761 people to go to bbb.org and find people like you, or we're gonna have some disappointment. And I don't want that embarrassment. I'm not from Chesterfield County, I'm not from Virginia, but I love where I live and I want to do the right thing. And I am so concerned. So do you think you can handle these 1,761 people?
Absolutely.
You just hire more people.
Hire more people.
Quality people, quality servicing. So Evie, what have I not got? We're at about 1837.
There's one thing I want to say.
Oh, yes.
Richmond is a beautiful place, and I want the people to reflect that too, and I want the businesses to reflect that. If your business, you're not holding up to those standards, 1,700 people come in here?
1761.
1761.
I don't know why there's
If
one.
you cannot hold up to integrity, respect, honesty, and truth, you need to reevaluate your business and you need to reevaluate yourself. Richmond is beautiful. The businesses should reflect that and the consumers should too.
And as you learn, let us vet you. It's a painless thing. We don't look at money. We look at your history. We look at 38 points of character, basically. And we're not that expensive. Under 50 employees, we're less than $50 a month investment. But it's not the money. It's, Evie, and you and I know this, and we are fighting City Hall. We just need the accredited businesses to be proud of that logo. And on the video, they can see it. 1912 that started. We represent trust. And around the country, we need all business owners to use that seal, so.
All right. Thank you to our chairman of the board, Vincent, for coming to talk to us. Thank you, Kandi, for coming as well. Wonderful insights, wonderful stories that you shared with us. Congratulations again on your 35
Thank you,
years.
thank
That's
you.
amazing. And
Do you
everyone
think
out
they
there,
should have a podcast? Should they be podcasters?
they should be podcasters. There,
I
you're
think they
right.
should. A segment every month talking about what's going on, and Vincent can get into 1619 and get into a lot of other important things, because podcasting is not about selling. It's about telling a story and creating
Exactly.
a bridge.
And with that, please make sure to follow us on our YouTube channel, BBB Serving Central Virginia. The podcasts are linked there. They're also on BBB Sharing on Spotify, and follow us on our socials. Thank you.